It's without doubt that our planet is constantly growing and undergoing many different changes throughout the year, but it appears that 2018 stood out to scientists a bit more. Not because it was a wonderful year for the scientific community, but because it appears that rapid changes that hold disastrous consequences are forming all around the planet, with changes happening so quickly that it's even leaving the best experts scratching their heads for an explanation. So today we'll be taking a look at these 5 strange things that happened to our planet in 2018, and what they could very well mean for the future of our planet. The splitting of an entire continent. For some unknown reason, back in 2018 a strange event occurred on the 19th of March in Kenya's Great Rift Valley. It seems that shortly after there was a heavy rainfall in the area, of which caused a large amount of sediment and stress to release from the walls of the canyon. A small earthquake occurred which lasted much longer than usual. This release of tectonic stress caused a rift to manifest which stretched over several miles long, and was over 50 feet wide in most places. This entire rift formed and cracked within only a few minutes of the earthquake, and seemed as if to be an extreme change in the landscape in only a short amount of time. Experts have been arguing as to what could have caused the rift, whether or not it was an underground aquifer filling up, and leading to additional stresses to the rocks and sediment underneath, or that the earthquake was the main cause of the splitting of the rift. Some experts have argued the rift was caused by both of these events occurring at the same time, and that additionally stress is added due to the area splitting atop 2 different tectonic plates. These plates have been shifting and sliding for a while now, but it appears the underneath of the Earth's crust has become incredibly more active in recent years, and that this force is pulling the plate apart and opening up rifts in the inside. It was originally believed these rifts wouldn't continue to form for another 10 million years, but it appears that added stresses are orders of magnitude larger than scientists have previously speculated. Currently there appears to be no consensus on the matter, although scientists have come to an agreement that over the last few years, the area should be at the centre of a tremendous amount of tectonic stress being released through earthquakes. Virus rain. One of the largest scientific breakthroughs in understanding how viruses can become transported from one area to another was understood back in 2018. This was as researchers from all over the world gathered the information and data over the years of studies to come together and understand the nature of virus rain. Although the name virus rain might sound more intimidating than it actually is, the phenomenon has been occurring since all throughout history of life on our planet. According to researchers, they have calculated that billions of viruses ride air currents all around the planet, which can cause them to travel more than thousands of miles at a time, and join together in a large downpour of virus rain at specific parts of the world at certain times. At roughly 2,500 to 3,000 meters above the sea level, a virus will attach itself to water vapor or sea spray vapor and tiny dirt particles floating through the air. In only a single day on an 11 square foot surface area of ground, more than hundreds of millions of viruses and tens of millions of bacteria will rain down on a spot directly underneath one of those air currents. Not only does this mean that those located across these microbe highways can become much more sicker than usual, but the viruses were roughly 461 times more abundant in these areas than bacteria, given the fact that viruses are much smaller and can bind to lighter particles in the air and travel much further. By understanding the sites and areas of these virus rains, organisations such as the Centre for Disease Control and the World Health Organization are more able to construct simulations of virus transfers, of which ultimately helps to combat against world-ending diseases and the source of patient zero infection sites. Our planet is eating its own oceans. As ocean levels have continued to rise, it appears our planet is finding new and interesting ways to combat the water's accumulation on the surface, and the amount of pressure it's adding to the sea floor below. In a recent study, scientists have found the rising ocean levels from melted ice and glaciers, along with water naturally expanding due to climate change, and the introduction of greenhouse gases causing heat to stay trapped in the planet, has been causing the water pressure to massively increase down at the seafloor, which has caused enough added stress to not only push the ocean floor down an extra 2 mm in the past 2 decades, but that this force has opened up shifting tectonic plates at the bottom of the deepest parts of the ocean. This has caused areas such as the Mariana Trench to cause a tremendous amount of seismic activities in the deepest parts of its subzones, between the Pacific tectonic plate and the Philippine tectonic plate. These subsurface ramblings have allowed researchers to calculate how much water of the Earth's oceans is being sucked down into these zones, and researchers have calculated there to be 3 times more than they expected to be naturally possible. According to the experts, more than 8 nonillion gallons of water are being sucked up by the bottomless pit of the Mariana Trench every year. It's expected to possibly increase in the coming years. However, even with this introduction of our planet eating its own oceans, it still won't be able to keep up with the natural rising of the ocean levels over the next few decades. A dramatic increase in volcanic activity all around the world. 2018 may go down as one of the most volcanic during this turn of the century. By the end of 2018, there turned out to be more than a total of 77 volcanic eruptions, which included more than 36 new eruptions from the previous year, almost doubling the entire amount of volcanic activity ever seen before. Many of these new eruptions are still ongoing and have continued well into 2019, of which may turn out to be even more volcanic than the previous year. Additionally, it appeared the global volcanism program became far more popular back in 2018, as many of these new eruptions led to more money and infrastructure being put into better understanding what a volcano is, the impact of its eruption, and even new methods and ways to battle a potential eruption in the future. Although experts are unsure onto what the exact cause of the increase of volcanic activity around the world is, they're taking notes on the added gas emissions and pressures building up in areas already known for their large amounts of activity. One such area in Indonesia, of which has more than 139 active volcanoes, has reported more than 18 of these volcanoes being raised to higher and more dangerous alert levels, and that there is a significant increase in the normal seismic activity than previous years. 2018 saw that during some weeks, there was more than 27 volcanoes erupting at one time, and it appears that stress on tectonic plates could be the culprit. Fluctuations in the Earth's electromagnetic field. As many of you are already aware of, the Earth has been undergoing some strange effects all year round. An effect that includes the overall stability to the Earth's electromagnetic fields, of which are the last line of defense that protects all life on Earth from harmful and dangerous cosmic radiation that would bombard our planet without the protection that our field has to offer. Dubbed by experts as the weakening magnetic field anomaly, researchers have noticed the strength of the magnetic field has been decreasing at an alarming rate, and that southern Africa might have a role to play in this change. Back in 2018, when researchers Eric Blackman and his team went down to the southernmost part of Africa to collect data, they found there appears to be something incredibly unusual about the core mantle boundary underneath Africa that could be causing a massive impact to the global magnetic field. Interestingly, this is the area of which is weakest in relation to the field protection. Scientists believe that a magnetic pole reversal might be due anytime soon now, and that changes in the magnetic pole in the past can be found at sites of which the researchers went to gather data. If this were to occur, there would be no telling what could change on the planet. Some believe that nothing at all would happen, and that merely our compasses would point in the opposite direction, whereas others believe it could drastically affect the heat from our sun, protection against cosmic radiation, and even the way tides form. So what do you think of these strange and bizarre changes that are leaving even the world's experts scratching their heads? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.